so we're back with the famous or infamous Evans boxcar.
Yeah, this is the one we've been working on for the last couple of video podcasts.
In about 100 years, you'll be done with it.
Yeah. Well, I've already shown how we stripped off the number and reporting marks, and then last time I put on some new reporting marks and numbers.
Don't tell me this time you're going to take them back off, right?
No. I'm gonna continue doing some detailing on this car.
Okay.
I like these Atlas cars. These are pretty nice cars, but there's a couple of things about them that I'm not real crazy about. One is the stirrup steps down here are kind of big and clunky looking, and the other thing is that the coupler platform or crossover platform is also a little bit thick and clunky looking. So I'm going to go ahead and replace those two things. Okay, so I'm going to start just by nipping this off. I'm just going to use some wire cutters. Get that out of there. And then I'm going to use an X-Acto chisel blade to kind of just work the rest of it off.
So you just want to kind of flatten the surface here?
Exactly. I'm just trying to get the whole thing off so it's flat underneath. And since it's the bottom of the car, you don't really have to worry about it if it's 100% smooth. You know, no one's ever going to see it. It's just so it looks good from the side, basically, is what you want.
Now this looks like one of those cars you would have done something with the ladder to give it those sort of grab irons. Is that doable on something like this?
Well, this car already has separate ladders.
Oh, is it? It's hard to tell on the video.
They're separate. So they are actually freestanding rungs.
Were they actually metal or were they plastic?
No, these are plastic. I suppose you could replace them with something, although I don't really know of anybody who makes a part that's better looking than this one that's already on it. So, unless you wanted to try to fabricate something yourself.
I have some paper clips at home and some staples, so we can put them under the arc welder and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, the parts I'm going to use, there's a Detail Associates number 6417, which is a straight bottom mount stirrup step. And since I use these fairly often, I've made myself a little jig, which is nothing but a piece of plastic with a couple of holes drilled in it. But this allows me to get the spacing of the holes right every time. So I'm going to position that so that the holes are centered on the side of the car.
I have a question while you're doing that, and I don't know if the people watching would be wondering the same thing, but are these tricks that you came up with yourself, or did you read this kind of like making the little template like that? Did you do that yourself?
Well, that's not a new idea.
No, I know, but I mean, did you come up with it yourself, or did someone show you that, or is it something?
I've seen other people do this kind of thing, where you make a template for something. If anything you're going to do more than a couple of times, you can save yourself a lot of work if you take the time to just make a little simple tool like this.
Okay. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was something you'd come up with on your own, or.
No, I don't take credit for that. Anyway, I'm just going to drill through the holes that I drilled in the template into the car, and the side material on the car is fairly thick there, so you have some room. Some cars, if it's really thin, this may be hard to do because you don't want to drill, through like the side of the car, so you got, the drill bit coming out somewhere where you don't really want it. Now that I got the holes started, I can go ahead and finish them just without the template. They just really need to be deep enough to accommodate the stirrup. So this little step is made out of Delrin plastic, I believe, or something like. It's one of those flexible type of plastics. I think so it won't break so easy. And so I'm using some Pacer Polyzap glue, which is CA type glue designed for different types of plastics. And I'm just going to put it into the holes that I've drilled. Just make sure it's all the way in. And then I also like to look at it and make sure that it's straight, reasonably straight. And we'll just let it dry. Anyway, so this is the new step, and as you can see, it's a lot thinner profile than the old step, so it's more to scale.
So the comparison is here's the old one. So yeah, you can tell there's a pretty big difference between the thickness of the old one and the new one.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to tackle is the coupler platform or crossover platform, and I'm going to use Plano part number 128, which is this, comes like this on this little metal tree thing. Includes parts for both ends, and there's the actual photo etched grate part, and then there's also a support which you have to put together. And when you put them together, they look something like this. So this is the grating on the support piece.
So what do you, like, cut off the other one or snap it off or something?
Actually, it's even easier than that. On these Evans cars, you just pull it out. Yeah, so these pretty much just pull out. Now sometimes they can be a little stubborn if we got paint on them. I don't know if they get glued, but sometimes I think the paint may make them stick. Anyway, you just pull them out. Okay, so normally with these Plano parts, you drill a couple of mounting holes, and they give you a little drilling jig with the kit, so you know how to space the holes out. But this car already has a couple of holes right here where where the other step was mounted. So I'm just going to put the little tabs that are on the part into there, and then glue it, and it'll be just fine. Okay, so I've gone ahead and applied some glue to the piece here. I'm just going to position it on there. Oops.
Remember, the microphone's like right there. So it looks like you can walk on it now.
Yeah, well, it's got that see-through look for one, and it's thinner too. The Atlas plastic part is very thick. So, and also just having the see-through effect is a lot more realistic.
I'm kind of curious here. Let's just. Oh yeah, I mean that's way better.
Yeah, and
this thing looks like, well, it looks like a toy.
Yeah,
and that metal one looks real.
And it's a pretty simple thing to fix and change. So I think it's worth doing.
Remember to go on to Facebook. Find us on Facebook and like us, and you can follow all this stuff. We're going to be adding every podcast onto the Facebook page and also onto our YouTube page. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.